This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connetti il mondo.
Prince Africa Bitcoin Conference, Ghana.
Ghana is known for its vibrant culture, kental cloth, and delicious food, now blending with Bitcoin adoption. If someone suggested creating a Bitcoin wallet design inspired by Ghanaian Kante patterns, would you support the idea?
Yes.
Football is often called the beautiful game, and Ghana has produced legendary players like Michael Essien and Abedi Pele. If you were offered the chance to manage the Black Stars for a year but couldn't play football yourself during that time, would you take it?
Yes.
The Bible has inspired millions with its teachings and stories. If someone rewrote the Bible as a modern tech guide, complete with reference to Bitcoin and blockchain, would you still find this as meaningful?
Yes.
Avalavi, like many hometowns, hold a special place in your heart. If you were offered a luxury trip to the Maldives but could never ever visit Avalavi again, would you still take the trip?
No.
Asana, or fermented maize drink, is a staple of Ghanaian culture and often enjoyed during celebrations. If someone offered you an unlimited supply of asana but banned you from drinking any other beverage for a year, would you still take the deal?
Yes.
Afro Bitcoin is doing incredible work to expand Bitcoin adoption and education across Africa. If Bitcoin were officially adopted in Ghana tomorrow, but transactions fee quadrupled, would you still consider it a success?
Yes.
You've inspired countless young people with your story of rising from Avalavi to global prominence. If you were asked to deliver a TED Talk but only had 5 minutes to share your story, would you feel it was enough time to do it justice?
Yes.
Rumors go that a new reggae artist dropped the Bitcoin hit song of this bull market. Have you already heard of it?
Yes.
You've played a key role in the Africa Bitcoin Conference and promoting Bitcoin education. If you had to teach Bitcoin to a group of elders in Alawawi who have never used smartphones, would you consider it your toughest challenge yet?
No.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
No.
Welcome to the Connected World Weekly Podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Steph. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 127 of Connected World, and this show is made possible by our friends from Bitonic and BRINGIN. And thank you guys for helping us with our mission to connect the world with Bitcoin through the Lightning Network. And if you also want to help out, then of course follow us on Twitter or Nostr and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, if you have any questions at all, head over to our Telegram group and you can ask us anything. And of course, a donation is always welcome.
Conecta el mundo.
Prince, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Hey, Prince.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Awesome.
for everyone who's watching this show on YouTube, normally we have everyone is also have a video connection, but you have a power outage there in Ghana at this time, so we can only hear your voice, Prince. But yeah. I mean, but it makes it also a bit mysterious. So
Absolutely. And if everybody goes to the African Bitcoin Conference, of course, they can meet you in person. So they have to wait for that.
yeah. Hey, I was wondering, Prince, because I asked you if you already knew the Bitcoin hit song of this bull market, because one of our community members here in Holland he made a song, a reggae song, and I will. Yeah, I was. Let me play a little part of it, around 30 to 40 seconds, and then I really want to know your opinion on it. Edward, can you play the song?
Yeah, of course.
Bitcoin warriors dance tonight, community shining bright. From Lagos to Accra we rise, building freedom in our time. We are not bullish enough. We are not bullish enough. No way. Make we show them how we move. Bitcoin family proof.
Oh,
What do you think of it?
it's very beautiful. I think it's referencing how Bitcoin is borderless. It can travel anywhere on the continent. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Steph, we can't hear you, man.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was on
No, it
mute.
doesn't matter.
I was on mute. I'm sorry. No, but you're totally right, Prince. And the fun thing is that Ramon told me that the past two editions of the Africa Bitcoin conference were held in Accra. Was it? Is it called?
Yes, Accra.
Yeah. So this the song also references to Accra. So that's a nice coincidence, right?
Yes.
So for everyone who is curious for this song, I mean, I think it's one of. I mean, it could be a nice anthem to the conference. So we will send it to you, and we will also
definitely
drop down the Spotify because it's already on Spotify. We will also drop the Spotify link in our show notes. And then, maybe you guys can play it at the conference or something, or maybe use it to, distribute it to all the people attending or something like that. But I think it's a perfect fit, man.
Sure. I mean, we are open to some of these things because using creative instruments to promote this message, of course, will help the cause that we have on the continent. So yeah, it's welcome.
Yeah, great, man. Yeah, cool. Okay, so enough for the song. I was also wondering because you're a big football lover, or you're passionate about football. Do you play football yourself too, or just you watching professional football?
No, just love watching, and then maybe playing video games.
Okay.
That's my limit.
Okay, that's your limit. So now I can tell that you're not that's no problem for you if you want to manage the Black Stars and just see it all happen from the sidelines, right? It's just you managing. That's a perfect fit for you.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. Hey, and I was wondering, can you also tell something about your background because you're now co-organizing the conference? Can you maybe share with us your first touch with Bitcoin, the first thing you heard about Bitcoin, and what makes you fast forward to now organizing a conference?
Okay, well, I can't really remember the first time I heard about Bitcoin. It's been a very long time, but I would say that it took me a long time for me to understand its essence and its importance in our lives. So, I mean, Farida was the one that took up the task. Farida Nabre, who is the convener of the conference, to really educate me and to really present to us the value this has on the continent. If you come to the African continent, we have 54 different countries, and all these countries are using different currencies. So it makes it very difficult for countries to trade among themselves. Recently, the African Union launched what we call the Africa Free Trade Continental Trade Area, which is supposed to have various African countries to do businesses together. So which means it will now be easier for me to sell my products in Ghana to Kenya or to Zimbabwe. But one of the key things that have hindered this has been currency. So if you look at how other countries on the continent have over 30 different currencies, and
Yeah.
each currency cannot work in another country. So it tells you that Bitcoin has the power to solve a lot of issues when it comes to even the inter-country trade that we are suffering with when it comes to the continent. Beyond that, we've also seen how difficult it is to even transfer money across our own borders. So if you come to Ghana, Ghana is bordered by Togo, and these two countries spend different currencies. And if you go to Togo, it is a crime to spend the Ghanaian cedi.
Oh,
If
really?
any states or if any police sees you transacting business with the Ghanaian cedi, it's totally illegal because it's an illegal tender in the other country. But in these same countries, it's very okay for everyone to spend the dollar. So then you see the essence of why the continent actually needs a common currency, a currency that's have the same value no matter where you travel across the continent.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things that actually that helped me to see the light of the kind of solutions that Bitcoin has for the entire continent, because this is not something that I'm just relating with. This is something that every single person that does international business, every single person that has to travel to another country, every single person that has to do anything beyond their country will face. I vividly remember, I think in 2021 or 2019, I traveled to Rwanda. And when I was going, I withdrew money from my bank account, a lot of money, so that when I go there, I can survive with it. Only for me to land in Rwanda and realize that my Ghanaian cedi is totally useless.
Yeah.
So all the money that I withdrew, I had to keep it on me, go back to the ATM and use a Visa card to be able to withdraw their local currency through, the Visa platform. So
Yeah.
you could see the challenges that millions and tens of millions, if I not say hundreds of millions of travelers across the continent have to face, where they travel to different countries and absolutely their currencies become useless. So if you're looking for a common currency, which has been something that I think we need for our trade, something that we need to ensure that every single person has access to equal value of money, then I think Bitcoin stands out. I mean, we can say that there are other solutions, but for us or for me, I believe Bitcoin stands out because of the value, because of how the technology has evolved, because of how open source it is, that you see a lot of people building on it. You see a lot of people creating initiatives out of it and also using it to empower themselves and also empower people around their community. So for me, that's one of the key things that has drawn me. And for me, I'm quite sad that I didn't really grasp this concept much earlier, because I would have used it to impact more people. I would have used it in almost all the works that I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. And the nice thing I like the most from your story is that you're really talking in favor of the whole continent and not only Ghana. So that I think that's the way. And especially like you said, you guys are trading with each other, but also you want to visit maybe a different country. Here in Europe, we, for instance, use the euro. So in our continent, it's quite easy. But I can imagine that for you guys in Africa, it's a big of a hassle. So and Bitcoin might solve that. Now, well, you are co-organizing African Bitcoin Conference, and this is all about the problems you just addressed to us. So we have prepared a lot of questions for you about the conference, but it has to be in the 21 minutes. So if you are ready, Prince, we would really love to enter that part. Are you ready?
Sure.
Let's
the
do
21 Minutes is brought to you by BRINGIN, the app to reliably sell and spend Bitcoin from any wallet. Well, the conference manifesto, I've read it, and it emphasizes Bitcoin as a tool for freedom and equality. How do you see this vision being realized across different regions in Africa at the moment? You were telling us earlier, but maybe you can go in depth how you see this being at this moment.
Well, the Africa Bitcoin Conference, it's a platform that we are building to be able to become a tool or a platform that
Hmm.
we use to encourage or increase financial inclusion on the continent. If you look at the African continent, there are a lot of unbanked people. There are a lot of people that are not able to use banking services. Let's say in Ghana, 4 years ago, several banks were closed because of government interference and because of businessmen that have those banks doing dirty things with the money. Bitcoin presents an opportunity for people to remove all those things out of their way, where they have access or direct power over their own monies and over their own wealth. So we at Africa Bitcoin Conference are very much enthused about the opportunities that we can give to people across the continent that would have to use a currency that is universally accepted and currency that can solve many problems that they are facing daily, either in their business or in their personal life or in their education. So we have also understood that communities across the entire continent can also leverage on Bitcoin to do a lot of things. So that's the main reason why we've decided to create the Africa Bitcoin Conference to increase financial inclusion and also to empower more people to know the power that their own money can do for them.
Yeah, cool, man. Hey, and
Yeah.
after 2 successful years in Accra, which our song is about, again, I will send you the Spotify link. The past 2 years were in Accra, in Ghana. Why did you decide to host this year's Africa Bitcoin Conference in Nairobi, Kenya? Is that because you really want to address the different problems from different perspectives, maybe? Or why did you guys switch to the Nairobi facility?
Well, yeah, the conference is the African Bitcoin Conference. So we also want to share the message across the entire continent. After 2 successful editions in Ghana, we decided to look out for which country on the continent has a very vibrant fintech ecosystem and also has a growing interest in Bitcoin. And we realized that Kenya has that opportunity. We've seen a lot of Kenyans creating very good products using Bitcoin. We've also seen a lot of Kenyans adopting Bitcoin and using it for a lot of things. So, in selecting the country, we just had to look out for the country that will make and give us another successful event, and also a country that is central and very easy for a lot of people to travel to. So, those are some of the reasons why we decided to select Kenya and Nairobi for this year's edition.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And are there also any specific initiative or grassroots movements in Kenya that have significantly boosted Bitcoin adoption locally?
Well, I think Kenya is one of those countries where a lot of projects and a lot of organizations are using Bitcoin to solve a lot of solutions on the ground. I would like to give a special mention to Bitcoin Dada. I would also like to give a mention to Tando. And then there is also a Bitcoin project in Kibera. That's a key project that probably will inspire our journey into Kenya. We also have Grideless, which is a Bitcoin mining company that is making a very good case for Bitcoin mining on the continent. So I still do believe that Kenya has given us enough reasons with some of these projects that are not just impacting people, but helping to create the African story that Bitcoin has a lot of possibilities on the African continent.
Yeah, cool, man. Hey, in the first year of the conference, we were also on site with Connect the World to capture some content. And rumors go that Ramon will also attend this year's edition. So we were very curious about all the content we were going to shoot there. But what exciting features or events can attendees look forward to this year? Do you guys maybe added some features or events, or what exciting stuff can people look forward to?
Yes, for this year's conference, we don't want the conference to just become a talk shop. We want the conference to become a place where people can come and learn, people can come and network, people can educate themselves. So this year's conference will be featuring a lot of workshops. So if you are a miner, we have a workshop for you. Or if you are aspiring to be a Bitcoin miner, there are a lot of workshops. If you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur, want to use Bitcoin as a solution in addressing the business needs when it comes to payments, we all have workshops for that. If you are an educator, we have workshops for that. And then we also have various panel discussions that are very insightful, not only about sharing people's stories about how they're using Bitcoin, but about how Bitcoin is transforming their local economies and also contributing to a lot of things from where they come from. We also have a lot of side events. I think that is one of the highlights of the Africa Bitcoin Conference, and a lot of side events set aside for networking. So you get to meet every single person that is in the ecosystem. And I'm quite excited that over the years, we've had a lot of organizations launching collaborative projects at the conference, which shows about how lucrative the opportunity is, that people can actually come and meet partners at the conference and actually get to develop products out of it. So it's not just a normal conference that you can just go to, but it's a conference where you come, you see almost everything. And I also want to mention to also be very entertaining to be at the conference, because we'll have a lot of music and dance as well.
That's great.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I've also read that you've introduced a roundtable discussion with regulators this year. Is that true? And what outcomes do you hope to achieve with this engagement?
Well, when you look at the Bitcoin projects across the entire continent, one of the problems that we have is with various governments accepting Bitcoin as a currency in their country. I think I was listening to a radio discussion recently where the radio presenters were going back and forth about how Bitcoin is illegal in Ghana, but it is not illegal. About how because regulators have not been able to publish a document on it, so because of that, they wouldn't want to encourage citizens to use Bitcoin for anything. So we believe that regulators have a very key role to play. They're key stakeholders in encouraging their citizens to adopt Bitcoin. I also believe that people can do whatever they want to do with their own mobile phones, with their own Bitcoins. But when regulators come on board and you are able to give them the right information, because most of the regulators attend events or do a lot of engagement with other stakeholders that give them the wrong information about Bitcoin and its potential and how citizens can use it. So we are creating the roundtable at the conference where the regulators can come and have the right information and also meet the right people. So it gives them the opportunity to dispel all the misconceptions they have, highlight the opportunities that it has for the various governments that they are representing and then their citizens, and also to build a framework for regulatory clarity that can benefit both, the governments and its citizens. So we are looking forward to welcome all of them from different countries, and we're hoping that this will be the beginning of various African governments or institutions accepting Bitcoin or promoting or encouraging their citizens to use Bitcoin for their daily activities.
Yeah, and the political and financial situation in Kenya, including discussions around the financial bill, has drawn global attention. Will these topics be addressed during the conference also? And how do you see Bitcoin fitting into this broader narrative?
Yes, these discussions will be held at the conference. We already know that on the continent, there are various mobile money services. If you go to Kenya and East Africa, M-Pesa, very popular. How do we align the conversations for people to understand how Bitcoin and all those products can work hand in hand? Where if I'm in Ghana and I want to send money to somebody in Kenya, there's absolutely no way. I have to go to the bank and it has sent money through a bank that is also in Kenya. So if your country does not have a bank in another country, then you would have to resort to either Western Union, MoneyGram, and other things. We realized that there are various apps on the continent like Machankura, there is BitNob. These apps have integrated these platforms on their services. So you can actually use Bitcoin to send M-Pesa to somebody, or you can actually use BitNob to send mobile money to someone either in Nigeria or in Ghana. So we understand that the traditional way of sending money and Bitcoin coming into place is something that we have to discuss and see how best we can match these two innovative technologies or innovative solutions that can actually help the continent to go further.
Yeah.
And I saw also Jack Dorsey attended a previous edition of the conference and made it a significant impact, of course. Will it be he or any other prominent figures from the global Bitcoin community be present this year?
Yeah, so in the past, we've had the privilege of having Jack Dorsey. I think his presence also gave us a lot of hope about the potentials that Bitcoin possesses. And also, he also gave a talk at the first edition. So, of course, quite excited that he will be returning for the conference this year. We have, I think, most of the staffs from TBD and Block also attending the conference. There are a lot of very prominent people that are on our speakers page on our website. In fact, as at now, we are still receiving applications for speaking opportunities. People want to speak at the conference. You should know how packed activities are at the conference, but we are very excited to have Jack back at the conference. It means a lot to us.
Can you share any highlights about other keynote speakers or panel discussions? Where are you looking forward to the most, apart from Jack, obviously?
Well, for me, I always look out to the fireside chats, which is opportunity for a one-on-one conversation. I also believe that it will discuss a lot of things about how Bitcoin is providing remittance solutions to a lot of people across the continent, how we are increasing financial inclusion. And then this year, we are also giving opportunity to some social impact projects to also come and share their stories about how they are using Bitcoin to transform their local communities and economies. So there are a lot of things that I'm looking forward to at the conference, and I'm quite excited about it.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. And for those attending this year's edition, what's the one key takeaway that you hope they leave with?
Yes, I think we've spoken about it over and over and over again. Bitcoin is not just a technology. I think if you're in Europe, you just feel okay. Because you can send money frequently to people in other countries. But for us in Africa, Bitcoin is not just a technology like Facebook or like Apple or anything. It's a tool for economic empowerment and freedom.
Yeah, it is.
Freedom to be able to spend your own money, freedom to be able to send money to anywhere across the continent at very, 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 very low fees, at fat space, and having no one decide what to do with it or how to do with it. So Bitcoin it's a lot of things for us at the conference and also for us as Africans. So I believe that when people come to the conference and they see how happy people are about learning about Bitcoin, about how they're using Bitcoin to do things in their communities, they shouldn't be surprised.
No, yeah. And talking about the broader adoption in Africa too, what with inflation and currency instability being significant issues, how do you see Bitcoin offering a practical solution for everyday Africans, especially in rural areas? Because obviously Bitcoin can be quite volatile also. But yeah, how do you see those people still benefit from Bitcoin?
Yeah, inflation is greatly affected by how our governments on the continent spend. I think I just saw a post by Elon Musk where he's referencing that because he's going to cut a lot of inefficiencies in government, inflation is going to come down. I actually wish Africa can have that opportunity. So for countries having the opportunity to print money anytime they want, of course, have a lot of impact on the citizens. Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. because its store of value is not tied to any local currency. Ghana just spent $250 million on a building for the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah.
In this period, this same country went to borrow just $3 billion from the World Bank. And imagine that we had $250 million. We had to spend it on a building. So it tells you how African government can just wake up every day and just try to spend on things that will not directly have any impact on the citizens, and then increasing the impact of inflation on them. So if we had injected that amount of money in the economy or something, I think citizens would have directly benefited. Bitcoin is a hedge, which means that no matter how your government spends, it does not really affect you, even though it will affect how you spend or the cost at which you procure and buy things. It is against inflation because your store of value remains the same. Nobody determines whether it should go down or it should go up. It's a lot of metrics that will power that. For people that are in the rural areas, mobile wallets and off-grid solutions like solar power miners ensure access to Bitcoin regardless of infrastructure limitations. So I'm looking forward to see how people in the rural communities can get empowerment. People in the rural opportunities can even use Bitcoin mining to do a lot of things for themselves.
Cool.
Maybe there are some people that are skeptic or have fear around Bitcoin, particularly when it's associated, of course, with scams or exploitative schemes in the region. How do you address that kind of?
In fact, I think last year I moderated a panel discussion on this, and I think it's one of the problems that we face. I've also been involved in curating a lot of educational programs for our conference. So we just don't organize a conference. Throughout the entire year, we create various initiatives to educate students. This year, we also launched a summer camp where we hosted 50 students, and just to educate them and present Bitcoin to them, and also to see the good side of it. Yes, Bitcoin has its it can be used for a lot of things, illegal, but we believe that the legal aspects will provide more empowerment to people. So the best that we can do is to educate more people about it. So that's the reason why we organize a lot of activities on our side. I think we just published a book. I think it's a 30-page book called Money Matters, trying to present financial education to these young people so that they can have a different perspectives about what they can use Bitcoin for, so that when they mention Bitcoin to their parents don't think they are doing fraud or they are doing something illegal. I quite remember during the graduation of the summer camp, whilst we were working out to take a group picture, one of the students walked up to me and said, "Thank you so much for organizing this session and giving us this book. I have been having these conversations with my parents for a very long time and they never understood. But with the knowledge that I gained from this summer camp, I've been able to go to them and even educate them more about even how to have a good savings culture as a student, and even how to even use Bitcoin to empower myself." After that, we created a WhatsApp group for them, and you could see the excitement and the kind of knowledge that they share about what they can do with Bitcoin. And I think whenever Bitcoin prices are going higher, you can see some of them quite excited about it, which means that through our initiatives, we have a lot of people being orange-pilled to use Bitcoin, even though they are just students. They know that they have and then they can use Bitcoin to do a lot of things for themselves.
Yeah, cool. And Bitcoin has also been described as a pan-African hope. What steps are needed to unify the continent around this technology while respecting its diverse needs? Because obviously all the different cultures, you already elaborated a bit that some money is even illegal to use in a different country with a different culture. What steps are needed to unify the continent around this technology?
Well, it's a very huge tax. I wouldn't lie about it. I wouldn't be here and say, oh, yeah, I mean, we'll just call it off that citizens will rise up and do it. We need to bring stakeholders together. We need to bring African countries together, the key people that make the decisions when it comes to finance. It will be very difficult for us to open up and say that, oh, we'll organize a conference for all the central banks of the continent to come together and accept Bitcoin. But I believe that with the little steps that we are taking and the encouragement that we are giving to various to recognize Bitcoin as a Pan-African currency that people across the continent can use for anything and use it at any time that they want.
That's a very interesting future, of course. It can solve a lot of problems. Yeah, so thanks again for your answers. Yeah, we had a lot of more questions, but we run out of time. But we have still one question left.
Connetti il mondo.
Yeah, really. I really enjoyed this at first.
Absolutely,
Prince.
yeah.
Really, I think Africa has such a bright future when it comes to Bitcoin adoption but also development. You guys such a big group of smart people working on Bitcoin and really getting the most out of it for the people there. So I'm really hopeful, and I'm really grateful also that you, for the things you guys do there in Africa. So that said, I wanted to say that to you. And I still have one question left for you. That's correct. And the fun thing is you may choose yourself, because we pre-recorded a question from Nikita. He's organizer from co-organizing the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference, or Kijan, and he is from stacker.news. So which one will it be? And you may choose, Prince.
Okay.
Will it be Nikita or Kijan?
Okay, I have to choose the question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with Nikita.
Nikita, let's play it.
Hi, I'm Nikita from Bitcoin Amsterdam, and this is my question to you. What is the most wanted name in the Bitcoin industry to be on the main stage?
Oh, that's interesting, because you're
talked about
also
it a little bit,
you're
of
also
course.
searching for speakers, Prince. What is the most important name to have on stage?
Well, maybe I don't want to boast, but we have Jack Dorsey.
Yes. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think for us, we appreciate that collaboration and support. He's meant so well for us. So yes, I would go for Jack Dorsey.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
yeah, I can
awesome.
imagine.
Yeah, of course.
Connetti il
Hey,
mondo.
Prince, where can people follow you? You personally, are you active on Nostr, or are you active on X, on Twitter? But also, where can people follow the conference? Give us some links.
Yeah, so you can follow the Africa Bitcoin Conference on all platforms. On Twitter, we are Afro Bitcoin. We just had 10K followers, so if you're looking for us, it should be easy. We are hosting from the 9th to the 11th of December at the JW Marriott Hotel in Nairobi, and it's going to be hundreds of Bitcoiners. I'm already excited about some of the stories of people that I'm helping to organize their travels, and then hoping that this will be another history in the making. And I'm encouraging everyone listening to this program to get the tickets and just fly into Nairobi and have the best time of their lives. I think this is going to be the best Bitcoin conference anyone can attend to end the year. Yes.
We hope so too.
This sounds great.
Prince.
Yeah. We hope it will be stacked with a lot of enthusiast visitors. Thanks again, Prince, and thanks everybody else for listening in. And of course, thanks to everyone helping to connect the world with us. So if you like our content, then please support us in our mission. Visit our website, connecttheworld.live, where you can also make a donation. and subscribe, like, and share our content on your favorite platform. We need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those notes running and sets flowing, and see you all next week on the same Lightning channel. Tot ziens, Pins. Bye bye.